Well, hello everyone, it's Sheila back again with the second part of this waffle stitch button-up cardigan tutorial. It took me a little while to get this far through days out and one thing and another. But I've got up to 12.5 inches. That's what I've decided to do for Tommy's cardigan. And I'm now going to show how to do the raglan shaping. It's not a straightforward raglan shaping, so I'm going to show you how. And for this shaping you'll need a couple of stitch holders, or even just a couple of bits of wool but different colour to what you're knitting with, and I'll show you why in a minute. So this is the pattern, what I'm up to. It says shape raglan, and the next row there's no casting off at the armholes for this. I'm going to knit 3, slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitch over, and then pattern to the last 5 stitches, and I'm going to knit 2 together and knit 3, and the next row will be purl 4, pattern to last 4 stitches and purl 4, and the next row will be knit 4, pattern to last 4 stitches, knit 4, and the 5th row purl 4, knitting to last 4 stitches. And then you have to go by the different sizes. Well, I'm doing the 3rd size, so after I've done those 4 rows I'll be repeating the last 4 rows is 3 times more, and then go on to all sizes where you're repeating those 2 rows until I have 41 stitches, and then you come up to shape the shoulder sections, but I'll get to that when I get that far. So I'm going to show you the shaping on here now. I'll put the wool on the floor, it's easier out the way. So I'm going to, following the pattern. No, it's not following the pattern, it's knit 3. It's 1, 2, 3, and then I'm slipping 1 stitch and knitting 1 stitch and passing that slip stitch over, and then I'm going to keep up with the pattern till I get to the end of the row, and that is purl 1, knit 2, purl 1, knit 2, and purl 1, knit 2, till I get to the end of the row, and I'll catch up with you then. And I'm now at my last 5 stitches, and I'm going to knit 2 together and knit the last 3 stitches. And that's how the shaping will be done. There'll always be knit 3 at the start and the finish before the actual shaping. And when you come to do the other side, what would be classed as the wrong side, it's purl 4, and then continue with the pattern to the last 4 stitches. And I'll pause that until I get to the last 4 stitches. And I'm on to my last 4 stitches. I'm going to purl those stitches. Now the pattern calls for the increasing on every 4th row, so I'm going to do those decreasing. I think it said oh, here's a raglan here. I'm doing it once, and I have to do it another three more times after I've done 2 more rows to make the first 4, so I have to do it. So when I get up to that part, I'll come back and show that the rest of that. But I have to knit 2 more rows straight, but I'm going to show you what these stitch marker things are for as well. As you can see, we have no cast off stitches, so I put a stitch marker in, and that tells me where the armholes start on the put one on each side. There, and those stitch markers come in handy. I always leave a long end for sewing in, and it sort of gets in the way sometimes, so I just wrap it around my finger a few times and clip it onto the end of the thing, and that stops it from raveling while I'm knitting. So I'll get back to you when I get up to the number of rows where I have to start increasing on alternate rows. I had a little bit of trouble with the next bit of this tutorial. I had started recording it, but I must have pressed pause part the way through by accident. Didn't realise, and I didn't check the video afterwards to see so. But it shows you a little bit of what I was actually doing, so it doesn't really spoil the tutorial. And now I'm almost at the end of this part of the tutorial. I've done all the shaping from the stitch markers up to the back of the neck, and now I have to cast off 8 stitches at the start of this row and the start of the next row. So I'm going to show you how. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm casting off in the pattern. 5, 6, 7, and the last one's a purl. That's 8. And I'm going to knit across to the end of the row. And I'm at the last 4 stitches, which I'm going to knit. And I'm going to cast off another 8 at the start of this row. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm casting off in the stitch of the pattern. It's 5, 6, 7, that's 8. And now I have to knit across to the end of that row. And now I'm at the end of the row, the last 4 stitches. And that leaves me with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25 stitches, which I'm going to put onto a holder. But I'm going to cut a length, leave a length of yarn for sewing up. And have a stitch holder, and I'm going to put those stitches onto a stitch holder. And that's a tutorial for the back of the cardigan. Took me a little bit longer than normal because I had odd days where I was at my granddaughter's, and we also had a day out as well. But the next part of this tutorial I'll be doing one of the fronts, and I'll get back to you then. So thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll show you the next part of the tutorial when I start it. Bye bye for now.